Hi, welcome to my channel, Takoyaki Tarot. Today is June 27th, 2024, Thursday. So I have one video up today. This will be my second one. Depending how things go, I may do a third, but we'll see what happens. So, okay, so for the sake of time, there's a dream that I want to share. So I'm going to share a dream with you, right? And then I'm going to share this Bible story passage verse, right? And so I had this dream like maybe 6-7 months ago. And I was always trying to figure out what it was, right? And so, I was talking to a friend about, like, we were just talking about, like, some Bible stories, blah, blah, whatever, right? And then that led to another conversation, you know how that goes, right? Like, but the one story that really struck me was this one particular one that he told me about. And it was like, it's been in my head for like the past 2-3 days now, right? So obviously there's a reason. So I looked it up, blah, blah, blah. I'm reading the story, and I'm going to read the story to you too, right? I'm reading it, whatever, blah, 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 and it's interesting. It's a good one, right? But then I read something very particular, and it was the same exact thing that I saw in my dream. And I was like, oh, that's why, right? So, hold on. So this is one of the dreams that I had wrote down, right? That if you've been watching my channel for some time, I used to write down my dreams all the time, but that gets very exhausting, especially like on my hands, because it's just a lot to write down like all the time. I just saw 2, 3, 1, and I'm just like, I'll write down what I can, right? But so in the dream, wow, you know, it's so interesting how things just play out, you know? I can't say I'm surprised at this point, but I still am, you know. So, alright, this is a dream. I walked outside from my house and decided to lay on the grass. This is me telling the dream, right? In my dream, I walked outside from my house and decided to lay on the grass. In the dream, it looked like the house was kind of like on a hill, kind of. It was like one little house. I mean, it was a house on a hill. That's what it felt like. It felt like nothing else was around, right? That's how it felt, right? In the dream, right, I was upset about something, and then I had a necklace I was playing with as I was laying on the grass and looking up at the sky. Also, I mentioned this, how I had a dream where I saw something in the sky. I mentioned this in one of my recent readings, but I stopped because it just wasn't the right time to talk about that, right? So moving on. I had a necklace I was playing with as I was laying on the grass and looking up at the sky. The sky above me kind of turned dark, like a small storm, and I could see lightning through. I could see lightning, and through the lightning, I could see a man flying on a horse. And he was flying through the storm. At first, I was a bit scared because I had no idea what was happening, but when he broke through the storm, I felt safe and calm, right? I was also excited, and I could see that his entire body was like covered in these beautiful flames, right? Like his skin was made of sparkling flames. It was gorgeous. I'll never forget it. It was gorgeous, right? I can't really explain the colors, but it was like, I don't know, like he was wearing flames. All right, I don't know. It's like he put on an outfit of flames. I don't know. It was beautiful though, right? Anyways, the man was also beautiful, and he had long black hair. He came down and laid down next to me and looked at me. And I asked him, am I hallucinating? And the man said, no. I asked him because it felt safe, as if I wanted to hug him, right? Next thing I know, we were back inside of the house, and all I wanted to do was clean out the messy house I was in, even though it wasn't my room, right? So it's kind of like, remember, I talk about this all the time, where houses in dreams, like the attic would be like your head. The basement would be like your root base, like who you are, where you come from, your foundation, like what makes you, like, and like the certain rooms are certain spots in your house, like certain traumas and certain things that you have to, you know, like whatever mess you have inside of your house, right? So essentially it would be kind of like whatever trauma you have endured, obviously as a child that trauma is brought upon you, right? It's trauma brought on by family members, parents, the world, your environment, whatever case it is, right? So it's never really the child's fault. It's the child, right, who has, and they endure the trauma. But as that child grows up, it then becomes your responsibility as an adult in your life to clean up whatever mess you have inside of your house. Granted, it may not even be mess that was your mess that you created, right? It could be like generational trauma, generational cycles, habits, mindsets, whatever, right? So that's what that is. So it's like, I didn't make this mess in my house, but it's my job to clean it up now, right? So that was, so I just gave you my dream, and then I just gave you a little interpretation of the house, right? Moving on. Yo, this is like, I don't know, this is exciting to me. Alright, so the one story that I want to talk about was Elisha. It's 2 Kings verse chapter 6. It's in Kings, right? And it's Elisha the prophet, and it's like the king of Aram, and like the invisible chariots of fire, right? Okay, this is very exciting to me. It's like delicious. All right. 2 Kings 6, 8, 14. Yeah, 2 Kings chapter 6 verses 8 through 14. And so I'm going to read you the passages, blah, 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 right? And it says, now the king of Aram was at war with Israel. After conferring with his officers, he said, I will set up my camp in such and such place. The man of God sent word to the king of Israel, beware of passing that place, because the Arameans are going down there. So the king of Israel checked on the place indicated by the man of God, which is the prophet Elisha. Time and time again, Elisha warned the king so that he was on his guard in such places. Now this enraged the king of Aram. He summoned his officers and demanded of them, will you not tell me which of us is on the king? Will you not tell me which of us is on the side of the king of Israel? So now he's thinking that there's a mole in the camp. There's a rat, right? And then they say, none of us, my lord and king, said one of his officers, but Elisha, the prophet who is in Israel, tells the king of Israel the very words you speak in your bedroom. And now the king says, go find out where he is, the king ordered, so I can send men and capture him. Then report back. So then they reported back, and they said, he is in Dothan. Then he sent horses and chariots and a strong force there. They went by night and surrounded the city. So they basically went in the dead of night to kind of like capture him. And then it says 2 Kings verse 6, chapters 14 through 17. When the servant of man of God got up and went out early the next morning, an army with horses and chariots had surrounded the city. So now Elisha is now seeing all these people, all these chariots, blah, 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 right? And then they says, alas, my lord, what shall we do? The servant asked. Don't be afraid, the prophet answered. Those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Right? So basically, Elisha is telling the king of Israel and all the people of Israel, he's basically saying, you don't have to worry, because even though there's a lot of them, we have more on our side than they have on their side, right? Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. And I thought that was crazy, because it says, and Elisha prayed, O Lord, open his eyes so he may see. Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. And it's crazy, because it's like angels, right? So I literally just read that like maybe like 15-20 minutes ago before I started this video. And what's interesting to me is the similarities in the dream that I had about 6-7 months ago, whatever the case. Actually, you know what? There's a date on when I wrote this dream, actually. Oh, wow. I had this dream October 3rd, 2023. Yeah. And I'm just now coming across that Bible verse. That passage, that story. How interesting. So I feel like you have had help. You know, cleaning up your house. All right, cleaning up your house, your insides, cleaning up the mess that was brought on by friends, family, the environment, the world, whatever, trauma, right? You clean up the house. And I feel like with every step that you have been taking, 11, 13, 11, 14, with every step that you have been taking to clean up your house, you've always had an angel around you helping you. I'll never forget that dream. I asked the man, I'm like, am I hallucinating? And he said no. And I felt a wave of calm, a wave of peace, a wave of like, I don't know, there was like some sort of like clarity too, because it was kind of like, we went into the house, and it's kind of like, I don't know, like it's time to clean up the house. Like it's time to clean house, right? So, anyways, I wanted to share that, right? I can go on and on, but like I feel like now what I want to do is I want to move on from this reading or from this right here, and then I'm going to do another video where I'm going to post some cards, right? But it's still going to be based off of this, all right?